Hi, good evening, all of you guys. Hope all of you can hear me.
Evening, Vamsi.
Yeah,
I can
guys.
hear you.
Yeah, fine. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the confirmation. Right, guys. Just give me a minute once. Right, guys. So let's continue, guys. Let's continue from the last session. So in the last session, guys, we have been got discussed about some introductory, just an introductory part of what is going to be machine learning. So where the machines will learn, it's going to be nothing but the machines will learn actually. But how they will learn, it is going to be nothing but based on some kind of an algorithms. So the algorithms are going to guide the machines to learn the data, learn from the data actually, guys. And based on the learning what they have been got done, based on that it can do some kind of a predictions. So as I told you yesterday, I just concluded the concept actually, guys. Nothing is there, guys. Just understand the past. Based on the past, can you just tell me what is going to happen in the future? So that is what exactly the machines are going to do that actually. So if you give the past data, so I tell you how the data model should be done. So in what structure the data has to be given to the machine. So I'll tell you. So basically we'll be having some kind of an X and Y will be there. So what is that X and what is Y? So we have to give the data to the machine in a format of an X and Y format. We have to give it actually. So how they will work and what they will do. So we'll discuss in the coming classes. We'll discuss about them, guys. So now the thing is, now the basic thing here is, it is going to be, we have been seeing, just like what are the technical aspects of them, what are the different technologies we have to learn. So we understood that machines will learn, but for that we have to know some kind of a techniques. We have to load the data, we have to analyze the data, we have to do something like that. Mahesh, can you tell me some real-time applications that ML will be used? Have you attended yesterday's class, Mahesh? Have you attended yesterday's session? No. Okay. Is today is your first class? Okay. It's today's your first class. Okay. So, like for example, easy to say that. That means, let us say that it is going to be some kind of an like predicting the defaulters. It's simple to understand that. A simple example. If you go for a higher level, there are a lot of things actually, guys. So predictions of defaulters. That means whenever a customer applied a loan to a bank, so whether to give the loan, whether not to give the loan. So what is the chances? Whether he would be a defaulter, whether he would be a non-defaulters. So how it will study? The machines will study the past customers data, who has been defaulters, who has been non-defaulters, and based on that, it is going to be identifies who could be the defaulters, who could be the non-defaulters. Simple to say that prediction of defaulters. So it is going to be spam and non-spam messages actually, guys. So which one is a spam message and which one is a non-spam messages? Non-spam messages are called as ham messages. So spam and ham classification, what we can say that it's a machine learning algorithm. So we are not writing any code there, guys. The main thing is previously we used to write the code. So if this is the data, so this is a defaulter. If this is a data, this is a defaulter. No, guys, it's a real-time analytics. What we are going to call it as a real-time analytics actually, guys. Real-time analytics means as of the data, automatically the machines is going to study them actually. When the data changes, immediately the machine learning also changes actually. Dynamically, it is going to work actually. So whenever we do some kind of an the hard-coded logics, etc., over the time period, we have to monitor them and we have to modify them. It's not like that. It's automatically as the data is changing, automatically the machine automatically changes its understanding and dynamically it is going to work actually, guys. So predictions of defaulters, spam and ham classifications in medical diagnosis, which is going to be positive, negative cases. So it is going to be medical diagnosis. Not only this actually, guys. If you look at the higher levels actually, guys. If you look at the higher levels applications, it is going to be nothing but which is going to be nothing but it's a little bit higher level, like deep learning applications actually, guys, which is going to be nothing but it's going to be face detection actually, guys. So it is going to be detecting the faces in the images. So detecting, which is going to be nothing but the emotion. So face detection, guys, emotion identifications. So it is going to be a face emotion identification actually, guys. I think you know that, guys. Detection is going to be different. Identification is going to be different actually. No, IRCTC, it's not like a machine learning application, guys. So machine learning means nothing but it has to understand the data and it has to give you some recommendation actually. you have to give some kind of a recommendations actually. That is mainly the machine learning talks about that. If you have any recommendations, absolutely Amazon recommendations actually. So which kind of a products we want to buy. So what kind of a product you may require. So depending on that particular past experience, it will identify. So this may be expected in the future, or this may be the customer may be planning to buy this kind of a product actually. Those of the things are going to be done actually, guys. Face detection and emotion identification actually, guys. So detecting means detecting the face, detecting that particular face. Identification means who is the person in that particular image. Hope you understood the difference, guys. Detecting the face. So in our cameras, whenever we are about to take a photo, a face detection will be done. Face detection will be done. So this is going to be the where the face is going to be there. Identification means who is the person inside that particular one. And what kind of an emotion identification. It will identify that what kind of an emotion in the particular face is going to be doing this actually, guys. In that face, what is the emotion we are having it actually, guys. So most of the people think that emotion identification. So ask about a Java programmer, or ask a C programmer, ask a C++ programmer. I'll give you an image. I will give you an image. So can you write a program? Can you write a Java program which can identify the emotion inside that particular image? Can you identify the emotion inside the particular image? Obviously, the Java programmer, C, C++ or .NET programmer says that it is impossible to work with them actually. It is impossible to work with that particular data. Yes, absolutely. It's can't. They say that it's impossible. You ask a machine learning expert actually, or a deep learning expert, he simply says that absolutely possible. How many lines of code you'll write actually, guys? To identify the emotion detection, I'll write just a 4 lines of code actually, guys. Just imagine, even if a Java programmer, they say, actually we can't say that Java cannot do that. Java also may do it, but it requires a lot of code we have to write it actually. Maybe some hundreds of, at least some tens of lines we have to write the code actually. Because we don't know how to handle that. But in machine learning expert, if you ask them, they can say that we can easily identify them actually. For that, we don't write any code for this, guys. There are going to be some kind of an pre-trained models are already there. Somebody already developed, some algorithms are already there. Using that particular algorithms, easily we can perform this kind of an operations actually, guys, which is going to be just a 4 lines of code. So there is going to be a package called as a module, a project called as an FER project is there. What is that FER project actually, guys? Face emotion recognition. The FER is going to be nothing but face emotion recognition. I don't write any code actually, guys. I don't write any functional code. Just I'll import this particular package, this particular library, I'm going to import them. And simply I'm going to just give the image. But how to give the image actually, guys? How to give the image? If I directly say I am giving the image like this, it cannot understand that. The image is made up of pixels. If I give some pixels to this particular library, directly that particular library will tell what kind of an emotion. Some around 7 or 8 emotions will be there. So whether he was happy, whether he was sad, whether he was something like it's going to be some like it's going to be fear. There are going to be some 7 or 8 emotions are going to be there actually, guys. Yeah, it's going to be fear, and it is going to be some angry. It is going to be angry actually, guys. It is going to be an angry image. Some 5 or 6 emotions are going to be there actually, guys. 2 to 3 lines of code actually, guys. If you want to know, just if you want to know about that, just you can say what is going to be FER module. What is FER module actually, guys? This is going to be an FER module, face emotion recognition. It also detect where is the face is there. Face detection actually, guys. Facial expression recognition is going to be this one actually. It's an if I just give the image to the machine, it will identify where is the face is there. It will tell you where is the location of the face. And apart from that, it is going to be. So don't expect that, guys. We'll write always. I told you one point. First of all, you have to remove one point from the mind actually, guys. Data scientists are very smart way. The who people works on machine learning, there are very smart way. Our thinking should be a very smart way of thinking actually. So you know that now. So to solve a problem, you should think smart. So try to solve a problem in a very smart way actually. So first, always, whenever somebody given a problem to me, first I'll check it out. I don't want to, normally if you ask a Java or C++ programmer, they think that whenever I given a requirement, they always thinks about what program we have to write, what code we have to write, what functional code we have to write. But this whatever that means the data science or machine learning experts, we are very smart way. Always will try to solve a problem in a smart way actually. Is anybody has created a library for that? We always think for, is anybody is there who already developed it? Just we have to import the module, guys, FER module, and directly it will tell. Directly, just if you give the pixels to that, just 4 lines of code, guys. You really, maybe if a normal, if it just before coming to this class, sir, how can you identify the emotion inside a picture actually? Whether he was happy, you can see here, happy is going to be 99%, it was happy. Angry, disgust, fear, happy, sad, and some other name is there. I can't see that. It is going to be anxiety or something will be there actually. Some 6 or 7 will be there. Just we have to download the library, guys. That's it, guys. This is going to be 4 or 5 lines of code. Over. Just 4 or 5 lines of code. It will tell you angry, disgust, fear, happy, neutral, sad, and surprise. Directly, it will tell you, guys, what is an emotion that particular person is going to be showing actually. That's it. That is going to be the code what we are going to write it actually. So somebody already written the code. If you want to start from the scratch also, nothing is there. Just give the give the images to the machine. Give some hundreds of images. Give some images actually, guys. So image 1, tell the machine that this image is going to be nothing but angry. Tell the image 2 and tell the system, tell that this is going to be a happy image. Just tell the machine, this image is angry, this image is happy. Like that, you give some add up, some around thousands of images, we add up them. Give it to the machine actually, guys. Machines will study. So how the images, that means how the pixels of data is there. So when the person is angry, how the pixels of data was there. When the person was happy, how the pixels in the image is there. So automatically the machine study, and whenever I give a new image, automatically the machine can identify what kind of an emotion it is going to be there. So 2 options are there, guys. One is develop the model starting from the scratch. So we have to train the machines actually here now. The machines will be trained. Machines will learn. Training means you are giving some training to the machine actually. Sir, how can you collect these many images actually, guys? Sir, can I collect that many images? How many images I can collect actually, guys? Don't worry. So we have a lot of resources nowadays. You have a lot of resources nowadays actually, guys. If I ask you to collect, for example, if I ask you to collect some images of 100 people, just 100 people's images with the facial, just take the face photo, some expression must be there. Whether the expression must be something like neutral, or angry, or a sad, or something like disgust, or it may be fear, or something like happy, something like that. So really, if I want to collect 100 people's data, it takes a lot of time. Collecting a data is not that much easy, guys. It appears like normally it is very easy. Normally, when you think about that. But really, if you once you go to the ground level, so collecting the images of 100 people, even for 100 people, it is going to be very complicated. It's very hard task actually. You have to go to each and every person, take an image. Hardly if you take some images, also 20, 30 images, you can collect them. Your family members, your friends, your neighbors, or some other things. Hardly you can collect, guys. 20, 30 images, you can collect it. If I want to collect some thousands of images, just observe carefully. Just imagine how much time it will take. That's why for this kind of a research works, some research across the world, there are some researchers across the world who are going to contribute the images actually, guys. They will contribute the images actually. Maybe I'll contribute some 100 images. Some other person contributes another 100 images. Like that, this universities actually, guys. So recently, like the IIIT Hyderabad has got one association with some like a world. They want to do some projects. So for that, they want to collect some images actually. So across the world, so different universities, because the research, the universities which are into the research, they will contribute it. So IIIT has been one of the institution which is going to be collecting some data for various images actually. So the IIIT students, every day their work is going to be collect the images only. Some thousands of images actually, guys. So collecting the images, somebody is contributing actually for us, guys. It's really not a big task at all. Nowadays, data is very easy. Data has become very easy actually, guys. Somebody is contributing, we are going to be using actually, guys. I'll tell you such kind of a data sets actually, guys. Just have a look at my one example, one of the practical example which we are going to see actually, guys. 25,000 images actually, guys. 25,000 images are there. That means 24,000 images are there actually, guys. 24,108 images. I didn't collected them. Really, frankly speaking, I didn't collected them, guys. Somebody contributed. I have been using this at different ages, at a different emotions. It is going to be different emotions, different race of people, a different race of people actually, guys. Can you see the numbering of this also? It's an it's very easy. 26 is the age of the person. 0 is the gender of the person. 0 is a male and 1 is a female actually. We have some names. 1 is going to be nothing but the race. 26 is the age. 0 is going to be the male or a female gender, and 1 is going to be nothing but the race of the person. 5 races I think we have: whites, blacks, Asians, Indians, and others. 5 races of people are there actually, guys. I think 1 means it is going to be blacks, I think, because 0 is going to be whites actually. 0 is going to be basically the whites. So 0 is going to be the whites. Even Indian, like Indian sports person, they collected the data actually, I guess. From Google, they have been got collected. So he's okay. So like this actually, guys. So like this is a movie actor actually. So like this, some Indian people, so movie actors, sports persons. So they collected the data of actually, guys. They collected a lot of data actually. Indian personalities are there, US, English, blacks, Asians. We are having some others. You can see the data actually, guys. 25,000 images we have been got collected. I didn't collect it. Somebody contributed about that. So nowadays data has been it's become very easy actually, guys. That is, data set is nothing but what we are going to call it as an UTK data set actually, guys. It's a UTK data set. From here only I downloaded, guys. It's a large scale phase data set actually, guys. So who are the contributors and all these things, information will be there. So this is going to be the information about them. So it is going to be the UTK phase data set is available for a non-commercial research purpose only, guys. So the align and crop images as well as landmarks are obtained by some website. It is going to be this, it's maybe a community actually. It's a kind of a community actually, guys. So like this, we are going to be having, please note that all images are collected from the internet, which are not property of this one. They're collected from internet actually, guys. The copyright belongs to the original owners. The ground truth of age, gender, and race are estimated through some kind of a DEX algorithm, guys. And double checked by a human annotator. If you find anything inaccurate, please let us know. That means there is one algorithm is there actually, guys. So this algorithm is going to predict what is going to be the age of the particular person. Input image, face detection, cropped face, feature extraction, prediction. It's a deep learning. It's going to be a kind of a deep learning algorithm actually, guys, which is working on a concept called as a convolution neural network, CNN. It is going to be a convolution neural networks actually. So how they collected also they're telling actually, guys. So these many images there are there in some IMDb. We know that no, it's going to be some movies related this one. So these many images, and from Wikipedia they collected these many images actually. The complete project actually, guys, complete the project, how they have been got collected the data actually. See how much data we are having it really. Download the images if you want, 27 GB of images actually, guys. Really, if you want to work with them, I require a supercomputer. You really require a computer which is going to be configured with GPUs and all these things. Research people use them actually, guys. We don't really work with them actually. Don't worry. So when you talk about the use cases actually, guys, you can talk about a lot of use cases actually, guys, like face detection, emotion identification, voice. It is going to be voice identification actually, guys. Voice identification. So you know that, for example, you take a Siri. So once if you registered a voice, so it will respond only to that particular voice only. It does not respond to other voices actually. Which voice we have been registered, only with that voice only it is going to detect actually. So it's a voice identification. Whether the correct person is speaking or not, it will identify them. Yes. So if you want to do some voice identifications, we require some data related to audio samples actually, guys. We require audio samples actually, guys. That means a various different types of audios you require, males, females. So you have to identify them actually, the frequency in the audio, the frequency in the sound. So these are the things what we are going to require. So for that, we are having another data sets. I collected, that means not I collected, somebody contributed actually, guys. That is what we call it as an urban sound 8K data set actually. We are having around 8,700 audio files are there actually, guys. 8,732 audio files are going to be there actually, because we know the numbers, no, we'll easily talk about them. There are different types of audio samples are there, like air conditioner sound, car horn is there, children playing, dog barking, drilling machines, engine idle, gunshots, jackhammer, siren, street music. There are different types of 10 different types of classes are there. 10 different types of classes are going to be there actually, guys. Like that, collecting a data is not it's not that much complicated as of now actually, guys. Generating a data is going to be complicated, but collecting the data is very easy. So many other things are also going to be there actually, guys. We have some kind of an MNIST data sets, we call it as. So we have a lot of data sets actually, guys. This is going to be some kind of an MNIST data sets. So handwritten digits, it's one of the success story of deep learning applications. It will detect what is the handwritten. So if you want to identify the handwritten, so nowadays actually, guys, we are getting a lot of apps. If you write anything, it automatically detects what is the text in that particular image actually. So it is going to be done by some kind of a Microsoft research. People has been got done at Google Labs. So some people has been done actually, guys. So they have been done some research on that. If you want to get the data sets, you can get the data sets actually, guys. Handwritten images. Your handwritten images are going to be there. Around 60,000 images they have been taken actually. Like that, when you talk about the data sets, so many data sets are there actually, guys. So nowadays, publicly available, so many, these are all called as public data sets, guys. These are all called as a public data sets. Everybody can access, everybody can use them actually. It's a public data sets, what we can talk about them. Okay. So that is the one of the thing what we can talk about them actually, guys. Okay. So these are going to be, so these are some of the use cases when you talk about. So at lower level, if you see, guys, at higher level, we can see that. At higher level, so many things we can do it actually, guys. So many things are there. From the some kind of a test reports, like for example X-rays or something like that, detecting the diagnosis. It's working with images, audios, videos, text, numbers, text, whatever the data we are having, we can work with the application, guys. But for implementing all these things, we require some language actually, guys. So as I told you, there is going to be a language called as it's a Python actually, which is a very popular language actually. Why it is very popular? So as I told you, guys, today, just a little bit introductory part of Python, So it is going to be nothing but, a Python is going to be nothing but. So when you learn C, C++, Java, .NET or etc., they'll tell you, so Java program, this is used for so and so applications. Like for example, if I talk about a Java, for example, what kind of applications we can develop? Mainly Java was mainly developed for web applications actually, guys, web development. Even up to some extent earlier guys. Now almost all mobiles are working with a different types of languages, but whereas it is working on based on Android actually. So Java is going to be a web development. Even mobile applications also we can develop. Even some years before, applications, the mobiles used to work based on the Java they used to work actually. So some mobile applications, you can develop the mobile applications also by using Java actually. So web applications or maybe mobile applications, only up to some purpose only we can use it actually, guys. Python is not like that, guys. So what the Python community says is, that Python is going to be a general purpose language. It is not developed only for a specific purpose. It is mainly developed for a general purpose language actually. General purpose means for any purpose you can use the Python actually, guys. So when you talk about the people who uses Python, that means who are going to use the Python actually, you can talk about so many people are there. It is going to be so many people, we are going to be so many different types of people. Like for example, when I talk about this using Python, generally who are going to use the Python actually? Okay. So whenever we talk about, so which is going to be nothing but, when I talk about, which is going to be as usually web developers or mobile developers or some kind of an application developers, you can say them, guys. It may be a mobile, and let us say that it is going to be web application developers. So who want to develop the web applications, or who are planning to develop, who are developing the mobile applications, they are going to be using this particular Python actually. they are going to be using that kind of an applications. Okay. So that is going to be what we are going to do this. So mobile and web application developers, not only them guys, even we can do some kind of an graphic related developments actually guys, like games. It is going to be nothing but the games development actually guys. It is going to be the gaming developers. You can say the gaming developers are there. Not only this, even guys, networking people, even the networking people are going to be users actually guys. Networking and hackers, networking and the hacking experts actually guys. It is going to be due to some kind of a socket programming. So maybe some people who has been learned the Java, they will teach the socket programming actually guys. It is going to be a socket programming actually, like communication between the systems, sending the notification from one network to another network. It's a socket programming actually guys. Networking and hacking is all about socket programming. So what the hackers will do, they will just connect through the sockets. They will be connecting through, they'll connect to some networks, and they are going to hack the networks only through the help of a socket programming actually. So mobile web application developers, gaming developers, networking and hacking experts. Not only this one guys, even mathematicians and statisticians guys. Even mathematicians and statisticians. So many people are there actually guys. Mathematicians and statisticians. Actually, as already discussed about that. Basically, mathematicians, statisticians, they are not interested in using any programming language. They don't like programming at all. They don't like programming at all. They don't say that, they say that maximum we will use Excel sheets. If you ask a mathematician, statistician to use a software, they say that we don't use any programming languages. They don't want to learn. But nowadays, even mathematicians, statisticians are preferring to use the Python. Mostly guys, mostly they prefer to use two languages. One is the Python and the other one is going to be nothing but R language. So R language is very popular among the mathematicians and statisticians guys. Among IT professionals, R language is not that much popular. But among the mathematicians, statisticians, R language is more popular actually guys. Like for example, the engineering graduates. So the engineering, the BTech people, as part of their course curriculum, whatever may be the branch, whether you are from IT or mechanical or civil or some other thing, nowadays, as part of the engineering graduates, as part of their academic course, they are teaching C language. Everybody has to learn C. I think nowadays, even C is common language, guys. Everybody, independent of what is your branch, you have to learn the C language actually. Yes, basically, mathematically, complex numbers, working with ND arrays actually, multi-dimensional arrays, working with matrices. So for example, I want to do a matrix multiplication. If I give a two-dimensional matrix actually, just like this. Just if I do like this into which is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, easily we can do it actually, guys. Easily we can do it actually. But imagine it's not just a 2 by 2. You are having, for example, a 10 by 10 is there. Multiplied by which is going to be another 10 by 10 matrix actually. It's very complicated for us to do it actually, but programmatically we can do it with Python very easily. In C language we can do it, but we have to write a lot of code. But in Python you need not to write a lot of code, just a very few steps. Just if we have two matrices, we can directly do the multiplication between two matrices. If this is M1 and this is M2, it is simply I'll say M1 dot, which is going to be M2. That's it. Over. Matrix multiplication will be done. The hard work is only creating the matrix actually. Creating a 10 by 10 matrix is going to be hard. But we can do it actually. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Right. So mathematicians, statisticians, they prefer to use the R language. Basically. Now they are moving from R to Python actually, guys. So as I'm saying that as part of the engineering or MCA or any almost all computer science related or some kind of an engineering or higher level graduations, nowadays C is a common language actually, guys. C is a common language for everybody. But whenever it comes to the other side, like the bachelor's in mathematics or master's in mathematics and statistics, as part of their academic course, they are going to teach R language. As part of their academic course, they have a language called as an R language. R is a very popular language, guys. Basically, IT professionals, they don't want to look at the R language because one point in their mind, they says that when I ask an IT professional about R language, What is there in the R language? R is for basically the things that R is basically used by mathematicians, statisticians, which are for non-programmers. But actually, R and Python is quite similar actually, guys. R and Python is very, very quite similar actually. 80% of them, the code is going to be, that means the way which we handle is going to be the same way only. Syntaxically, there may be change, but conceptually, it is going to be the same actually, guys. Almost all R and Python is going to be the same only. But IT professionals who are related to IT, they prefer to learn Python, whereas the mathematicians and non-programmatical part or non-programmatical people, they prefer to learn the R language, because the people having a statement that R is basically for non-programmers like mathematicians, statisticians. But R language, Python is going to be quite similar. If you know Python, learning R language is hardly 4 or 5 days it will take it actually. You just hit on the system, you can become a master in R language easily, very easily compared with the Python. Python is a little bit confusion, guys. Little bit confusion means mainly Python is going to follow an object-oriented programming. OOPS concepts. Not OOPS concepts, OOPS style. That means if you want to learn a Python, though you don't know what is a concept of object-oriented, at least the style of object-oriented, class, object, method, something like that. So we have to know those terminologies actually. In our language, we don't require actually, guys. Yeah, it's like a Java. Whereas in our language, it does not require object-oriented because R follows purely procedural standards actually. It's a procedural stance and procedural standards it is going to be there. So we really don't require much programmatical language. That is the reason R has been basically developed. It has been developed. Basically developed for mathematicians, statisticians. And it was also developed by 2 professors. It has been mainly developed by 2 professors at one University of New Zealand. They have been developed it actually. But R is developed by an IT team only. It was developed completely by an IT team, by a group of developers only. That particular Python was developed. Whereas our language was not developed by the IT professionals or any software professionals. It is developed by 2 professors at one of the university, mathematician professors actually. A mathematics professors, they developed this particular R language at one of the University of Auckland in New Zealand. So mathematicians, statisticians are using this particular Python nowadays actually. Now, Brishmohan Gupta, OOPS is optional in Python. We can use procedural language as well as in Python. No, actually, Python complete follows an object-oriented style. So a little bit, you need not to learn what is object-oriented because we don't write the classes and all these things. But whenever we want to follow, for example, I have a list object is there. I'll say list object actually. List dot, there are some methods are there. So we have to know what is meaning of a method. Yes, whatever you're saying is a procedural language. It is going to be basically we works with the functions. That is a procedural language. But compulsory in the compulsory in the Python, we should know the style of object-oriented. I'm not saying that you have to know object-oriented. We have to know what is the style of object-oriented programming. The object-oriented. So for example, if I say a class, first of all, we have to create an object of the class. Create an object of the class. After creating the object name dot, whatever the methods associated with that. So that is the style of object-oriented. So we should know the style of object-oriented. It need not to be an expert in the object-oriented. Okay, fine. Okay, guys. So mathematicians and statisticians. But sir, that means whenever it talks about ourself actually, whenever we are talking about ourself actually. Yeah, mostly available concepts are going to be classes and objects only, obviously. Okay, now where we are fitting actually. So I am not a mobile developer. I'm not here to learn mobile development, web applications. We are not developing any graphic related applications like gamings. I'm not doing any networking and hacking related applications. And here, maybe I was a little bit, because yesterday I told you, data science is all about maths and stats plus computer skills plus domain knowledge. You need not to be an expert in mathematics and you're not an expert in statistician. When you are compared with a computer science engineering, a software professional, little bit knowledge. So now you go to a software professional and ask, what are the basic, that means a basic mathematics concept anybody can say. Like what is going to be mean, what is going to be median, something like that. So how do you calculate a distance between two data points? What is Euclidean distance? What is going to be Manhattan distance? So you know how to calculate a distance between two data points actually, guys. I have two data points are there. I have two data points are there. How to calculate the distance between the two data points? If this is x1, y1, and if this is x2, y2, you know how to calculate the distance between them. It is x1 minus x2 square plus which is going to be y1 minus y2 square actually. We already know the distance about that. Normally we know that it's a distance calculation. It's going to be square root of x1 minus x2 and y1 minus y2 square actually. Normally we all of you know that it's a distance, but once you go a little bit deep into this, who has been done any bachelor's in mathematics or those people knows about that. This is what we are going to call it as an Euclidean distance we call it as. Normally distance means we call it as Euclidean distance. We have another type of a distance actually, guys. It is going to be a Manhattan distance. So what I'm saying here is once if you start learning data science, compare with the other software professionals, you are a little bit better in maths. Or whenever we compare with the statisticians or mathematician, you are a little bit good at the computer skills. So not a complete expert on computer science, not a complete expert on the statistics and maths. So when you compare with a statistician, you are a little bit better at computer skills. When you are compared with a software engineer, you are a little bit better at the statistics actually. So a combination of a mathematician and a statistician is nothing but a data scientist actually. So actually guys, what is the distance? So if you want to travel from here to here, this is going to be what we call it as a Euclidean distance. If I travel like this from here to here and here to here, that distance is going to be nothing but what we are going to call it as a Manhattan distance actually. Or also what we can call it as an absolute distance. Why it is called as all the derivations, we'll see it later. So we'll see the derivations later actually, guys. The derivations are going to be later actually. It is very simple. x1 minus x2 absolute plus which is going to be y1 minus y2 absolute. That's it. This is also called as an absolute distance also. So how it came also, you can easily derive them. There is not a big problem at all. It's a little bit maths. So how this formulation has been came, why this formulation has been came, it is only from a distance calculation only, but that is a different case actually. It's an absolute distance, just the difference between x1 and x2 plus y1 minus y2 absolute distance is going to be. That is what we call it as a Manhattan distance or absolute distance, what we call it as. So like that, we are going to learn a lot of mathematical techniques. We learn a lot of mathematical concepts. Some new mathematical terminologies, we are going to learn them actually. Like that, we are going to be learning some things whenever we work with this kind of an applications, guys. That's the basic idea behind them. So that's it, guys. That is going to be what about we are going to be working with them. Let us come to the next discussion. So let us come to the next discussion actually, guys. Okay, so where we are going to be fitting actually, guys, why we are going to be learning actually. So one more people also is going to be, guys. It is going to be nothing but who are working as part of a data science. Like it may be a data analyst. So nowadays, guys, data analyst means previously we used to talk about some kind of a tools like Power BI or something like that. It's an actually business intelligence actually, guys. BI is different, data analyst is different actually. BI developer, it's a data analyst. Data analyst uses actually, guys, data analyst, or it may be something like an machine learning experts, ML, DL, AI experts. So we are learning actually, guys, we are going to be learning Python because we are going to be learning some skills of data analyst. Yes, guys, we have multiple roles are there. Data analyst is going to be one role. Once if you learn a data science course, you have a multiple skills in your hand. Data analyst, machine learning engineer, deep learning engineer, AI engineer, NLP engineer. So all these we are going to be doing NLP. All these we are going to be doing by using Python. So Python provides you a lot of libraries, a lot of packages, which allows you to work with all these skills actually, guys. So we uses Python basically for this purpose actually, guys. Not for any something like networking or anything like networking or hacking. or any some kind of an graphics we are not using for graphics, or we are not going to develop any web application or mobile applications. Isn't it, guys? I'm not here as a mathematician, statistician, but we'll learn some skills. But mainly we are going to be learning the Python because I want to do some kind of a data analyst skills, or I want to do some kind of perform some kind of a machine learning experts, AI, DL, and NLP, etc., etc. We are going to do it actually, guys. So that's why Python is going to be what we call it as a general purpose language. If you simply say who is going to use this, as many people you can use it actually, guys. Nowadays, everybody is using Python actually. Even a mechanical engineer, they are using Python. They're having their own purpose. So they are having their own purpose. So many people actually, guys, even scientists, which is going to be some kind of an quantum computings. So which are going to be some kind of an theory, some large scale mathematical theories are there. We are not experts in them, but they're also going to be using the mathematician experts, the mathematician research people. They are using all these kind of an application, scientific. So many people we are going to be using actually. So Python provides you a ready-made tools. It's going to be nothing but ready to wear. It's a ready-made. Just you can just wear it and use it actually. That's it. No need to stitch. No need to write any code. Once you start working with Python, you really enjoy working with the Python actually, guys. You really enjoy, you really love to work. All the very big headaches actually, guys, a very, very big headaches in programming language. Anyhow, I'll discuss about them. One of the major headache actually, guys, declaration of variables. If I talk about some features, one of the major headache in the programming languages, guys, declaration of variables. Declaration of, it is going to be the variables actually, guys. Like for example, how many variables you want to use in a programming language? You have to declare them. For example, you are using 5 variables, you have to declare them. 2 are integers. I, J, it is going to be an integer. For example, some A comma B, which is going to be nothing but it's a float. Something like X and Y, which is going to be some kind of a string. In other programming languages, we have to declare the variables. How many variables you want to use, that many variables we have to declare. In Python, it is not required. Python says that we are a dynamically typed language. I'll tell you guys. These are some of the features if we talk about. It's a dynamically typed language actually, guys. What do you mean to say dynamically typed language? You don't specify the data type. You just directly tell me the value. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to choose the data type. Python chooses the data type. According to the requirement, it is going to do that actually, guys. Yes, identify the type of the variable. Simply you say I equals to 10 over. Normally in other languages, for example, if I said I and J is an integer variable, if I said I equals to 10, it is valid. But when you said I equals to ABCD, it is going to be invalid. But in Python, it is not like that. You said I equals to 10. Immediately you said I equals to ABCD. Both of them are valid cases only. But at first step, I will be integer. But in second step, I is going to be a string actually. It automatically changes to string. It's a dynamically typed. In a programming language, not like that. Once if I declare the I variable as an integer, throughout the program, it is integer only. Throughout the program, it acts like an integer only. It cannot be act like a string. You cannot act like a string in the same program. But here it is not like that. But here it is going to be not like this actually, guys. Simply we can go for the options like this, what we are going to do that. So it's a feature. It's a feature of Python actually, which is what we are going to call it as which is going to be a dynamically typed language feature actually. Like that, we are going to be working with a different features actually, guys. We are having a different features we are going to be having here now. So we have a lot of features are there. Once you talk about the features, we can see a lot of features in the Python once you start working with them. Once if you see the history about the Python, guys, actually Python has become a little bit popular in the few years back only, guys. Maybe I started hearing the Python maybe some around, I can say that some around 7 years back actually, guys, 7-8 years back. Before that, I never heard about the Python actually. First, I heard about the R. After that, I heard about the Python. Actually, R was developed after Python, but first I heard about the R language. After that, I heard about the Python actually. So even it's more popular from the last 4 years, 5 years, but people started hearing some around 8 years back or 7 years back. I started it actually, maybe some hardly around them. But the story began in 1990s only, guys. The story has been began in 1990s only. The history about the Python, if you see, its evaluation was started in 1990s. So there is a core team. There is one team of software professionals. Mainly, they want to develop some language. They want to develop some language, which is going to be very, very simple. Yeah, it was invented before the Java itself. Java came in 1996. Java came in the year 1996. It was invented. It was written in around 1990s only. It was started actually. But at the time, the scope is because one of the major problem here is an open source actually, guys. It's not a commercial product actually. It's an open source. Open source will have the two sides of a coin. One advantage, one disadvantages. Advantages is free to use. Disadvantages is going to be no support will be there. They don't give any support because you're not paying any money to them. If there is any bug is there, either we have to resolve it. What the open source people says that if you have any bug is there, you modify yourself, you debug yourself. You don't do any support or wait till we modify that actually. It's a contributed by various contributors across the world. Open sources are all contributed by some experts across the world actually. So around in 1990s, it was started. So a team want to develop a language which is very, very, very simple for programmers. Their main idea here is simple for programmers. They want to develop a language. So they developed a language called as an ABC. The language name is ABC. And one of the person who was going to be the Rossum, his full name is going to be his name is going to be Guido von Rossum. Simply we call it as a GVR. His name is going to be Rossum. Different people spells in a different way. It is going to be Guido von Rossum actually. It is going to be von Rossum. He's a Dutch programmer actually. He was one of the member of this particular team who developed this particular R language actually. They developed this particular R language. ABC language. ABC language. Actually, due to some reason, this ABC was not released into the market. It was only limited to the lab only. They have done some research and they have been, due to some technical reasons, the ABC language has not came into the real world actually. Inspired from that particular ABC language, this person, the Rossum, has written this language. He was actually it was contributed, but the main person who has written this particular Python is going to be by the Rossum. Is one of the Dutch programmer. He has written this language called as a Python actually. It is inspired from this ABC. It has been written. It was started around 1990s only, almost all around in 1990s, 1991. It was started. The history was started actually. So inspired from ABC, they have developed this language called as a Python actually. They call it as a language called as a Python. So if you want to see the Wikipedia page, you can see all that history. So if I talk about the Python, so just I said, don't say python.org, just you say Python, that's it. Just if you say Python, you will get the Wikipedia page of the Python actually. So if you go through the Wikipedia page of Python of programming language, you can see that actually. This one actually, I guess. It's a Python is I told you, there are so many features are there. It's a high level interpreted general purpose programming language. Can you see in computer software, a general purpose programming language is a programming language designed to be used for building software in a wide variety of applications, application domains actually. The opposite of general purpose language is a domain specific language. That means only for this particular domain only they will be used. The opposite of general purpose language is a domain specific programming language. Like SAS is there, guys. SAS is going to be a domain specific. It's not a language. It's actually software actually. It's only for a domain specific, only for basically for clinical purpose only the SAS will be used. So such kind of an languages or they are going to be called it as which is going to be generic domain specific programming languages actually. So we can see some kind of so inspired from, you can see that from where they have been got inspired from actually, guys. So first appeared in 20th February 1991, almost 31 years ago, 31 years before they have been started actually, guys. In 1991 it was started. So it's designed by this person actually, guys. Still he was alive. I think now he was working for Microsoft. Now, this person is a Dutch programmer, best known as a creator of Python programming language, for which he has been the dictator for the life actually. So he is the dictator for the particular life until he stepped down for the position in July 2018, and he remained as a member of Python Steering Council through the 19. I think now he was working in, if you see the history, he was now working for Microsoft. From 2019, he was working for Microsoft actually. So influenced by a language called as an ABC. This is a language actually, I guess. So actually, this is going to be inspired. This inspired actually, I guess. ABC has a higher major influence on the design of the language called as Python, developed by the Rossum actually, who worked for several years on the ABC systems in the mid 1980s. But due to some reason, actually, I guess this was not came into the. Actually, it was not released actually. First appeared in 1997, 87, but due to some reason, it was not released into the real world. Actually, people didn't use it, this particular application. Actually, this language was not used. So this is all about which is going to be some history about them actually, I guess. And there is a lot of history behind the naming of Python also. I think nowadays everybody has came to know about that. But some years before, whenever I said Python means, so the first word, the first thing that generally comes to our mind is Python means everybody. Even if you open your browser and you say Python, if you just say Python actually, I guess. If you just open your browser and if you say Python, so just you say Python and just say enter. So being in my system, I'm searching very frequently on Python programming, no? So that's why I'll get related to Python. But if you're searching for the Python for the first time in your web browser, it will go to the popular one is going to be nothing but the Python, which is going to be the large snakes. You'll get Python means you will get that particular images and all these things it will come. Because that is generally that comes to our mind actually. So there is some interesting story behind them. So actually the Python name is one of the person name actually. It's not the name of the snake or the type of the snake or is one of the species of the snake. It was inspired from a TV show actually, guys. The Python was inspired by a TV show. The name of the TV show is going to be the Flying Circus, which is going to be directed by a team called as a Monty Python actually. So being this the Dutch programmer who is a Rossum, he's a fan of that particular TV show. He has named behind the TV show actually, guys. The name of the director is one of the crew member of that particular the direction team. His name is going to be Monty Python. So from that particular Monty Python, the Python name has been got taken actually. That is a basic the history about this particular the Python name where it has been got inspired actually. Even you can see that history also. If you simply say Python, you can see that if you see the historic the Wikipedia page from where the name the Python has came also, it is going to tell you about that. So if you see about the history, you can see that actually. So Python was conceived in the late 1980s by which is going to be the CoreJava and some other person in the Netherlands as successor of the ABC language, which were inside by some settle. And the name and all these things, we can see them actually, how the name has came and all these things, what we can see with that. The history will be there, guys. If you want, you can just check with them and we can work with them applications. So this one, actually, I can say no. So it is going to be this one actually, guys. Monty Python. So it is going to be the Monty Python actually, guys. So it's a Monty Python. So Python developer aim is to be fun to use actually. This is reflected in its name, a tribute to British comedy group Monty Python. And in occasionally playful approaches to tutorials and reference materials also, he will use some kind of a names actually, such as example that refers to spam and X, a reference to the Monty Python sketch actually. Some words also that has been taken from that particular TV show actually, guys. Foo and a bar. These are also standard they will use as actually. Mostly they'll use foo and a bar actually. The name has been inspired from that particular name actually. Okay. So it does not matter. These are going to be normally just like basic ideas about them, how we are going to be working, does not matter. So it is a little bit history about the Python actually, guys. A little bit history about the Python. So if you want to install Python actually, guys, just go to python.org. So if anybody wants, guys, it is going to be python.org. Just download that particular python.org from the system. Don't download it. If you want, you can download just 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes, it will take it actually, not more than that. just in download installation, just hardly it is going to be 2 minutes. It will take it. So it does not matter. Just download if you require. Just download. It supports almost all types of operating system. It's an open source. You can work with Windows, Linux, Ubuntu, any Linux operating systems, Mac, almost all, any kind of an operating system is going to be supported actually, guys. Okay. So don't install it. If you want, you can install it actually, guys. Download and install. The latest version is 3.10.4 is the latest version actually, guys. I think I'm having 3.10.0, 3.10.1. Only the build version has been changed, but major version is 3.10 only what I'm using as of now, guys. Okay. So that's it, guys. So really learning Python is very easy and really we enjoy them. Really we love to learn Python. It's not learning of Python, guys. We can say that we really love to use Python actually. It's not learning of Python actually. It is very easy to learn, very easy to use. We'll work on them applications. So that is basically the idea behind this particular, the Python history actually, guys. So just for today, I'll stop it here. So in the next class, guys, we are going to start with the regular classes of Python. So I'll start with the features of Python and I'll start working with the Python 1 or 2 days, little bit basics we'll study with them. And after that, we'll start with our, actually your main classes will be starting from Monday onwards actually, guys. Only for the first week, you will be having a class on, we'll be having an off on Saturday. So tomorrow you don't have a class. So next class will be on Monday, guys. Next class will be on Monday because we'll expect a little bit more and more people. I think there are some around 10, hardly 10 students are there. So at least generally in our each batch, at least there will be minimum 25 to 30, minimum 25, 30, 40 people also will be there. So generally we can expect more people. They'll join, guys. My backend team will update them. They'll send the ads and all these things. We'll get more students will be there. At least minimum 25 plus we'll be having the students actually. Right, guys. So anyhow, from Monday onwards, maybe some people may newly joins also. We have a workshop on Sunday. So we'll conduct a workshop, free workshops. And after the workshops, they will join on the regular classes, they will join. Don't worry. Initially, we'll start a little bit slowly, guys. But after 1 week or 2 weeks, we are going to start with our regular sessions, which is from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. is our class timings actually, guys. Okay. So that's it, guys, for today. We'll end up the session for today. If anybody having any questions, I'll take up the questions because 5 minutes is still there. Remaining, we are going to connect on the Monday's class, guys. From Monday's class, we'll start with our regular classes actually, guys. Okay. So thanks, guys. Anybody, guys? Any questions, guys? Okay, guys. So I think nobody is having any questions. Yeah. So just for today, I'll end up session, guys. That is up to you, Mahesh. If you want to participate in the Kaggle, you have to, that is up to you. If you want to join, you can join. If you want, I can help you if you want. Okay. If you want, you can join the Kaggle competition. It's an optional. I'm going to just guide you to work with them actually. Okay. Fine, guys. That's it for today's class, guys. And we'll continue on the Monday's class, guys. Thank you for today and have a nice day, guys.